Hi, everyone. Welcome to Spill the Tea Radio, where we interview awesome singer-songwriters and those who influence their lives. Spill the Tea Radio explores the journey, creativity, and inspiration behind the songs. My next guest is a soulful singer-songwriter with a world-class voice. Her background in traditional jazz continues to influence her work, drawing from a number of genres while staying true to herself. A born storyteller, her intimate and personal lyrics shine through her stunning vocals. Born and raised in southern Alberta, she currently lives in Edmonton and represents Canada on the world stage, from performing at the Tokyo Jazz Festival to opening for Grammy Award-winning artists Gregory and Lisa Fischer. So, let's spill the tea with Ellen Doty. Welcome, Ellen.
Thank you. So glad to be here.
Now, you've got some music that runs in your family. Your brother is a house DJ.
Mm-hmm.
You're also a big sports buff. We won't talk about the team, the hockey team that you carry the flag for, but your other brother is with the Calgary Flames, and then you have a sister. Is your sister musical as well?
Yeah, she is. She doesn't do music professionally, but all of my siblings actually have always, music's been a big part of their lives. So my sister sings, my younger brother plays guitar and sings, and then my older brother tours a lot as a house music DJ and producer.
And what about mom and dad? How are they? Are they musical as well? Do they play instruments, or are they just really good at playing the radio?
Yeah, they are musical as well, really musical. So we had lots of music in our house growing up. My mom plays the organ and sings. And so I grew up singing in church as a kid. My mom directed one of the choirs at our church, and my dad sings as well. So lots of music was always around, rehearsals happening at our house, and people coming to jam after a dinner party. So I was really lucky to just see that a lot of the time when I was a kid.
Children are musical children, especially, are influenced by the music that their parents listen to. What's your earliest memory of the music that you remember listening to that your mom and dad would play around the house?
Ooh, what's really neat about them is they listen to such a variety of music, which I think probably influenced me sort of mixing a lot of genres with my own work. So everything from my grandparents were really into jazz. So my grandma actually lived across the street from Nat King Cole in Los Angeles.
Wow.
And they grew up there, and that's where my dad grew up. So lots of the sort of big band era jazz stuff was played around the house. But then, moving to Alberta, they listened to lots of folk and country music as well. And then everything in between, pop and rock. And I remember my mom had one of those subscriptions to the Columbia
Oh
records that you
my.
used to get the CDs in the mail. I don't know
Yeah.
if you remember that, but
I
we were always
remember
so
it. Yeah.
excited. Yeah, like every time that came, it was a totally different genre, totally new thing. And we were always so excited to listen to whatever would come in the mail, which was cool. So yeah, lots of different music around the house.
So listening to all of that different types of music, what genre did you land in now, and what genres have you gone through your musical career?
Yeah, I would say that I definitely started out in more of a traditional sort of jazz, started out singing jazz standards and doing a lot of that type of stuff, and then have really morphed, I think, into my own. And that's something where I'm taking influences from a lot of different areas of my life, from pop to soul music to, indie stuff to jazz, and sort of making that my own as a singer-songwriter. So it makes it hard to describe what genre that is now, I think. But I think all of that, listening to a lot of different music and sort of learning the basics and around the jazz genre still influences where I am now. And sort of my love for all of those different things and wanting to see them all together has been great.
In the years gone by, back in the Columbia House days, it was very easy to talk about genres. There were very clear-cut lines. There was country, there was folk, there was pop, there was rock, there was jazz, R&B. It was very, very defined. In today's musical profession, in music today, the lines seem to be getting very blurry along the way. And some artists have said that that tends to be a little bit of a roadblock for them, especially when they're applying to festivals or they're trying to get airplay because their genre or their music and the way they describe it may not fit into that pigeonhole. What are your thoughts on the genres today and the pigeonholing of music?
I think it can be both a challenge and then also a blessing in some ways to, be part of a lot of different genres. I agree that it can be pretty challenging from applying to, for example, even something like the Junos. What category do you put yourself into for an
Right.
award? Because the categories are still really specific in terms of here's the genre that you would apply to, or festivals or that kind of thing. On the other side, sometimes it makes you open to being able to apply to multiple categories. So I might be able to perform at jazz festivals, but also folk festivals with certain albums, or play at sort of singer-songwriter type venues, but also at jazz clubs. So having that mix, so it can be, I think, both a roadblock in some ways, and then also helpful in other ways. I think we are sort of starting to see more of that blurring of the lines, and I do wonder if there will be less of those rigid boxes as we move forward. I think people are experimenting a lot and trying a lot of things, and I think it's beautiful to see that blend of all kinds of different influences and musics coming together.
When we think about Alberta and we think about Edmonton, most people will associate the Western provinces with, country music. You're not in the country genre, though, and there's a lot of people that I'm interviewing who are not in the country genre. So tell us, what's the jazz scene, or what's the non-country scene like in Edmonton?
It's actually excellent. Edmonton has the longest running jazz club in Canada, the Yardbird Suite. It's been around forever, and there's a really strong, I would say, just jazz and creative art scene in Edmonton in general, and it's been really welcoming. So I think there's a lot of collaboration happening between artists from different genres, which is probably what helps produce some of that, mixed genre work as well. And ever since moving here, I think I've been here now for about 5 years. Everyone just really welcomed me into the scene, and from various different genres. So I'm really glad to be here, and I think it's a really booming scene. I know people don't necessarily think of Edmonton as that, but there's a lot of really neat music coming out of this city, which is awesome.
How long have you been in Edmonton and been part of that community?
So I've been here, I think it's been about 5 years, maybe getting close to 6 years now. Um, and it's been wonderful being here. And I have really enjoyed getting to know lots of people in the jazz scene. There's regular jazz jams that happen both at the Yardbird Suite, and then there's a really cool jam that happens called New Standards at this venue called The Common, where it's a lot more sort of groove based, and musicians just pop in and out and play together and experiment, and it's a really, really fun thing. So I've been the guest for that before as well, which is wonderful. And then I've co-written with lots of artists from Edmonton. on lots of different songs, which is really neat. And artists not just from jazz, but from pop and soul and you name it, sort of whatever genre. I'm always happy to collaborate with folks, and I think I learned so much from the writing process that I really enjoy continuing to do that.
Well, let's get into one of the songs that Ellen wrote. The song was recorded at Department 9 Studio in Edmonton, Alberta, with producer and longtime collaborator Effa Eteroma Jr. It also features Ellen's partner and dad to their new son, Murray Wood. It forms one of the 12 original songs written while being pregnant with her first child and released in April of 2024. Let's take a listen to singer-songwriter Ellen Doty and her song, Every Little Scene.
Curtains drawn, light on lines, your every curve and every shape. No words, not yet. It's a glimpse of you to fill our space. A sea of blankets, we know these waters well. The furnace speaks, I'll stay under your spell. These moments with you, those moments, something old and something new. Every little scene bathing in the sun, in and out of frame, these stories come undone. I'll watch you drink coffee from your thrift store mug, pour over the dailies. This is enough. As time moves on, dust that gathers falls away, dancing through the air, reminding us of every stage. Take my arm, feel the push and pull of every take. This house grows older now, these two hearts stay. These moments with you, those moments, something old and something new. Every little scene bathing in the sun, in and out of frame, these stories come undone. I'll watch you drink coffee from your thrift store mug, pour over the dailies. This is enough. watch you drink coffee from your thrift store mug. Pour over the dailies. You are enough.
That was Every Little Scene by Ellen Doty. Ellen, what was the thought process? I know that you wrote that song and a number of other songs during your pregnancy with your newborn. What was the inspiration for this particular song?
So the inspiration for this song was really taking the time to be grateful for all the little things around me. I think sometimes I get into this mode where I'm so busy, and we all talk about how busy we are in our lives, and we're trying to pack everything into every moment. And for me, this was about slowing down and really thinking about those beautiful sort of mundane things in my day-to-day life that I really cherish and love. You know, a quiet morning, having coffee at the kitchen table with my partner, you know, seeing the sun, you know, come in through the window and feeling the warmth of that, you know, the hardwood creaking in the living room as I'm getting up and walking out in the morning. I think just really taking the time to notice those things around me and appreciate them.
Well, certainly your voice and style lends to that, that whole setup of that song, Every Little Scene. It's a beautiful song. I encourage everyone to go and listen to all of Ellen's songs. And Ellen's going to tell us where we can find all of that information. Ellen, how do people find out more about you? Gigs, tours, concerts when you get back? Well, you said you're going back to work already.
I am.
Where do they go? What's the website, streaming services, and your socials?
So it's www.ellendoty.com, ELLENDOTY.com. And then you can find me on Instagram, Ellen Doty Music, Facebook, Ellen Doty Music, Twitter or X, Ellen Doty. And then I'm on Threads too at Ellen Doty Music. So you can find me on all of those sites and would love to hear from you. So thanks for listening.
We have been in conversation with Ellen Doty. Ellen, thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you.